listening to Allman in the Morning.
No,
Common
there's
Sense
nothing
Radio.
that I gotta prove. You think your words will make me black and blue, but I think I'm pretty with these old boots on.
Good morning, you bunch of
I think
drunks.
it's funny when I drink too much. Hey, you try and
7:38, speaking of drinking, Tim said he'd pay money to see somebody drink a glass of Roundup. So.
How much money, Tim?
Yeah. What's the price?
I just was saying just a little squirt in the gin. I'll do. I didn't say I'd drink a whole glass of it.
Just a taste.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even drink a whole glass of orange juice, so, you know. Just saying. But, you know, come on. At some point, though, it becomes, then if you have proof, bring it. But, you know, to just kind of soil an entire company and just gratuitously blame them without any factual basis is kind of wrong. Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk more about that later on. Thanks for listening to the show, Tim. All right, so Annie Frey of course, Annie Frey Show, Saturdays 5 to 7 at Annie Frey Show. And thanks again for the T-shirts. You can go to the Arrowhead Building Supply webcam and check them out because we're all wearing them.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And Annie, you were just showing me this picture of the, do they call them a hijab? Is that what they call them? Hijab?
Hijab. I think
hijab.
hijab is the official American way to say it. I think it's hijab.
I think it is.
I think so. Yeah.
So you're showing me this picture of that they have now Nike hijabs.
Mm-hmm. So you're trendy and
I mean, it almost looks like that can't be real, but
it's
it
real.
is.
It's real. Yeah. It was on my Facebook, and the meme says, "Only if your husband allows you to." which is very appropriate. I really don't understand the attacks against Christianity from the left and the propping up of the Muslim religion when Muslims don't do all of the things that liberals want Christians to do, but for some reason the wind is blowing in the right way that day for Muslims, for liberals, so it's okay. You can, push homosexuals off of buildings, or you can disallow women to speak unless it's appropriate for them to speak, and stone them if they are, not appropriately living their life according to the way the men do. But no, not you Christians who just kind of sit there and mind your own business.
Well, that's why interesting. We love on International Women's Day. We got a call from Regina the day after that, and she said, we travel the world, and really International Women's Day is an important day around the world, and that because of so much oppression in other countries and things like that. And so we did see images of women in Turkey and in other Middle Eastern countries who hit the streets. And so it made it even more self-involved, self-absorbed, and gratuitous for people like Nancy Pelosi to get out there and talk about how their biggest problem is equal pay or what have you, when International Women's Day should have been a time to actually stand up in solidarity with women around the world who are oppressed on a regular basis.
Absolutely. We have so much in America as American women that we are using International Women's Day as a way to make women feel special. We're not special. We're not special just because of our gender. We're special because of what we do, with the opportunities that are presented in front of us. In other countries, there are women who aren't allowed to speak, who aren't allowed to show their face. I mean, we don't have any idea what that is like. And there have been women who have come before me and before us who have fought to make us. I mean, we were more equal in the 50s than these women are in other countries today, and they have fought for us. I get to vote. I get to vote in Illinois, so I get to vote all the time. I get to vote more than once if I really want to. But we get to vote. I have a solid job that I've worked hard for and work hard to keep, and I have to do that every day. But that has nothing to do with being female. It's just because I try to be a good employee, and that's what we all have to do.
Hoop-de-doo and a do.
Yes.
Well, hoop-de-doo and a do, Annie.
Nancy.
So no, but yeah, so it became like this. It was just another women's march from right after, and it was like an anti-Trump march and everything else. And so it's one thing if they did it today, but they chose International Women's Day to make it all about Democrat women, which is kind of weird to me.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
They just don't get it. And and if you want to qualify as a woman, you have to make sure you check all the boxes of things that these liberal women say that you have to support. And I don't support the same things that they support, so therefore I might as well just sit it out at my desk at work on Wednesday, which
Yeah.
I did, so it was fine.
And then another thing too, it's like one of the great things that women contribute to our society too is that they actually have babies. You know what I mean? I mean, there are method by which we have continued
More
on
people.
humanity.
Yeah,
And yet,
God didn't create women to do everything a man could do. God created women to do everything a man can't do.
Right.
And so show up and do what you can do, and stop trying to be the same, because we aren't the same.
Well, it's
we're different people.
Well, and so pro-life women were not invited to a lot of these demonstrations. And I'm like,
Disinvited, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like really weird to me. And actually, it became actually a means by which they were their biggest gripe against Trump was that he was not wanting taxpayers to fund their abortions. I'm going, what kind of International Women's Day is this?
Yeah, it depends on, the day, the time, where the money's coming from to support these protests, because these protests are certainly propped up by people who have political interests in the system. And that's why, I don't even invest my time much in it, because they're not interested in women. They're not interested in me. They're not interested in anything that would differ from their platform. And so I'm not interested in them.
Yeah, interesting too. I did take the occasion to go back in time, and I actually missed. I heard from some people who were utilizing the day in the positive way, and I have 3 daughters, and I didn't even do it. I was just like, I didn't understand what they were doing. I've missed an opportunity. Not that I don't tell them I love them every day, but that would have been a nice day to do that, and yet it was absorbed and sucked up by these crabs who decided they were going to ignore everybody else around the world, and the most important reason why they had the day. And then you had a situation where I was on the internet, and I went back and saw some pictures of the suffragettes. Mm-hmm. And I was like going, how cool is that? They were all dressed up, and they were carrying American flags, and it was 1913. I saw the picture. But it occurred to me, I was like, women didn't even get to vote until 1920. I'm thinking, how did dudes get away with that for so long? Maybe you can give me some insight on that, because how did they get away with that? Because certainly they weren't all,
Their wives were telling them how to vote.
Maybe behind the scenes.
I don't know how it works, but I would imagine that any man worth his salt would consult his wife, because he would care about her.
Yeah.
I mean, men aren't all bad.
Yeah.
So, you talk about your daughters. I have a son and 2 daughters, and I don't want my daughters to think that one day highlights them being special, that they're not special.
Yeah, right.
As an individual, any other part of the week. And I also don't want my son to think that he needs to take a back seat in any capacity because somebody says that men are bad, inherently bad, or inherently pigs, or whatever. I don't want either one of them to. I don't want them to think of themselves as a gender. Like, why do we label that? Let's just do what we do and go do the best at what we can do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it just was amazing to me. We went through the entire Industrial Revolution without women voting. Mm-hmm. But I guess even at that point, there were a lot of women who saw their roles differently and extended their home roles into this view that they didn't have to really take part in the political process either. But I don't know. I was just fascinated by that.
I got to get there in the morning.
So,
spruced up and looking in my prime.
Common Sense Radio.
a couple other things I need to talk to you about. If you can hang loose, do you have time?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a beer. Have a Budweiser. Have a nice cold Budweiser.
It is almost 8 a.m.
Jimmy Carafano joining us at 8:10, and then at 8:20, Casey Cordes from yesterday's Almond Report. She's in court this morning trying to get on the ballot for the St. Louis mayor's race as an independent. This is not a done deal for Lyda Cruzan, believe me.